Imagine this. You're sitting at your desk, overwhelmed with tasks, and your colleague asks you for a quick favor. You hesitate for a moment, knowing you're already stretched thin, but you still say, "Sure, I'll help." Sound familiar? Most of us have been there, feeling torn between wanting to help others and the growing weight of our own responsibilities. Learning to say no is not about being selfish or rude. It's about understanding your limits, valuing your time, and setting healthy boundaries that allow you to live with purpose and focus. Unfortunately, many of us are trapped in the habit of saying yes too often, leaving us drained, resentful, and unable to give our best where it truly matters. This book is a guide to mastering the art of saying no. You'll discover why it's so hard to refuse others, learn how to overcome the fear of rejection, and practice techniques to communicate your boundaries with clarity and confidence. Why you need to say no more often. Saying yes too often can lead to burnout, stress, and a loss of control over your time. By learning to say no, you regain that control. You start prioritizing what matters most to you, whether it's spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing personal goals, or simply resting. This isn't just a skill for personal growth, it's essential for a balanced and fulfilling life. Studies show that people who set boundaries and protect their time experience greater satisfaction and lower levels of stress. What you'll learn in this book: why saying no is difficult and how to overcome the guilt, the psychology of people-pleasing and how to break free, strategies for saying no in professional, personal, and social situations, how to handle manipulation, guilt trips, and pressure to conform. Practical exercises to build your confidence and assertiveness. A transformative journey. This book isn't just about saying no to others, it's about saying yes to yourself. It's about recognizing your worth, embracing your priorities, and living a life that aligns with your values. By the end of this journey, you'll feel empowered to set boundaries without fear, guilt, or hesitation. You'll reclaim your time, energy, and focus to live the life you truly want. Ready to begin? Let's dive into the art of saying no. The Art of Saying No. Published by Audiobooks HUB. Why is it so hard to say no? Have you ever felt a lump in your throat when you needed to refuse someone? Maybe you said yes because it seemed easier than explaining why you couldn't help. This struggle is more common than you think, and it's rooted in several deeply ingrained psychological, social, and emotional factors. The fear of disapproval. Humans are social creatures. We crave connection and acceptance, and saying no can feel like risking rejection or conflict. From a young age, many of us were taught to be agreeable and polite, to avoid rocking the boat. This conditioning can make no feel like a dangerous word, even when it's necessary. But here's the truth: most people won't dislike you for setting boundaries. In fact, those who value and respect you will appreciate your honesty. The fear of disapproval is often exaggerated in our minds, and learning to challenge it is the first step toward reclaiming your confidence. The trap of people-pleasing. Do you often prioritize others' needs over your own? If so, you might be stuck in the cycle of people-pleasing. While it feels good to help others, constantly saying yes can leave you overcommit and undervalued. People-pleasing often stems from a desire to feel needed or appreciated, but ironically, it can lead to resentment and burnout. Breaking free from this habit means understanding that your worth isn't tied to how much you do for others. Cultural and social conditioning. In many cultures, especially those that emphasize collectivism or traditional gender roles, saying no is seen as selfish or disrespectful. Women, for instance, are often expected to be nurturing and accommodating, which can make boundary setting particularly challenging. It's important to recognize these societal pressures for what they are: external influences that don't define your personal value or priorities. Guilt and obligation. Guilt is one of the most common reasons people struggle to say no. You might worry that refusing someone will make them feel bad, or that you'll be letting them down. While it's natural to care about others' feelings, it's not your responsibility to sacrifice your well-being for their convenience. The key is to separate true obligations, like supporting close family or fulfilling your professional duties, from the unnecessary guilt that arises from trying to please everyone. The fear of missed opportunities. FOMO, fear of missing out, isn't just about social events. It can also apply to professional and personal opportunities. Saying yes can feel like the safer choice, especially if you're unsure about what you truly want. However, by saying yes to everything, you dilute your focus and energy, making it harder to excel at what truly matters. Remember, every no to something unimportant is a yes to something meaningful. Practical steps to overcome the struggle. Recognize your patterns. Reflect on the situations where you struggle to say no. Is it with certain people or in specific settings? Identifying these patterns can help you prepare for future interactions. Challenge negative beliefs. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I say no? Often, the consequences we fear are far less serious than we imagine. Reframe no as positive. Saying no isn't about rejection, it's about protection. You're protecting your time, energy, and values. This mindset shift can make setting boundaries feel empowering rather than selfish. Practice saying no. Start small. Say no to something minor, like a coffee invite when you're busy. Gradually build up to bigger decisions, and notice how each no strengthens your confidence. Seek support. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries. Share your journey with a trusted friend or mentor who can provide encouragement and accountability. Real-life scenario: the overworked volunteer. Imagine Sarah, a working mom, who's always the first to volunteer for school events, even when she's exhausted. One day, she decides to try saying no. When asked to organize another bake sale, she politely declines, explaining that she's overcommitted but will support in other ways, like donating supplies. To her surprise, the school committee respects her honesty. This small step empowers Sarah to set boundaries in other areas of her life, reducing her stress and improving her overall well-being. Key takeaway: understanding why saying no feels so hard is the first step toward change. By addressing the fears, habits, and conditioning that hold you back, you can start setting boundaries with clarity and confidence. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to identify your priorities and align your decisions with what truly matters to you. This foundation will make every no a meaningful choice. Defining your priorities, what truly matters to you. Before you can confidently say no, you must first understand what you're saying yes to. Clarity about your values and priorities is essential for setting boundaries and making decisions that align with your life's goals. Without this foundation, it's easy to get caught in the endless cycle of pleasing others at the expense of your own happiness and progress. The importance of knowing your priorities. Think of your time and energy as a limited resource, like money in a bank account. Each yes you give is a withdrawal, and every no you say helps protect what remains. If you don't know where you want to invest this currency, you'll find yourself depleted, with little to show for your efforts. Defining your priorities ensures that your decisions align with your core values. It gives you the confidence to say no without guilt because you're choosing something that matters more to you. How to identify your priorities. Reflect on your values. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What do I want to achieve in life? Which relationships or activities bring me the most joy and fulfillment? Write these down. Seeing your values on paper can bring clarity to your thoughts. Assess your current commitments. Take stock of where your time and energy are currently going. Are these commitments aligned with your values? If not, it's time to reevaluate. Set clear goals. Think about your short-term and long-term goals. Whether it's advancing in your career, spending more time with family, or prioritizing self-care, knowing your objectives will help guide your decisions. Identify your non-negotiables. These are the things you won't compromise on, no matter what. For example, a healthy work-life balance. Time for personal growth or hobbies. Quality time with loved ones. Non-negotiables act as a compass, keeping you on track when faced with difficult decisions. The power of alignment. When your actions align with your priorities, you feel a sense of purpose and satisfaction. On the other hand, when you constantly say yes to things that don't matter to you, resentment and burnout are inevitable. For example, if one of your priorities is improving your health, but you keep agreeing to late-night outings that disrupt your sleep, you're working against yourself. Aligning your choices with your goals will make saying no feel natural and necessary. Practical exercises to clarify your priorities. The perfect week exercise. Imagine your ideal week. How would you spend your time if there were no external pressures? This exercise can reveal what truly matters to you. The energy audit. Write down everything you've committed to over the past month. Highlight the activities that energized you in green and the ones that drained you in red. This will show you where your energy is being well spent and where it's not. The 5-year vision. Picture your life 5 years from now. What do you want to have achieved? Let this vision guide your decisions today. Real-life scenario, the overcommit professional. John is a marketing manager who constantly feels overwhelmed because he agrees to every request at work, from mentoring new hires to organizing team events. After identifying his priorities, he realizes that his main goal is advancing his career by developing his skills, not managing others' workloads. The next time he's asked to take on an additional task, John politely declines, explaining that he's focusing on professional development. By aligning his decisions with his goals, John not only reduces his stress but also performs better in the areas that truly matter to him. Saying no with confidence. When you're clear on your priorities, saying no becomes easier. You're not rejecting the person, you're protecting what's important to you. For instance, instead of saying, "I can't help you right now," try saying, "I'd love to help, but I'm currently focused on priority. Maybe I can assist you later." This approach communicates your boundaries while maintaining respect for the other person. Key takeaway. Clarity is the cornerstone of confidently saying no. By defining your values, goals, and non-negotiables, you create a framework for decision-making that aligns with your ideal life. In the next chapter, we'll dive into practical techniques for saying no in various situations, from work to personal relationships, without feeling guilty or uncomfortable. Practical techniques for saying no without guilt. Saying no can feel like walking a tightrope. You want to maintain your boundaries without damaging relationships or feeling like the bad guy. The good news is that with the right techniques, you can communicate your refusal clearly, respectfully, and guilt-free. The power of a polite no. Contrary to what you might think, saying no doesn't have to be harsh or abrupt. When done politely, it can actually strengthen your relationships. The key is to express your decision with kindness and clarity, leaving no room for misinterpretation or resentment. Techniques for saying no in different situations. The direct no. When time is short or the situation calls for honesty, a straightforward no is often the best approach. Example. Someone asks, "Can you work late tonight?" Response, "No, I can't. I have plans after work." This approach is simple and leaves little room for negotiation. The "let me get back to you" no. When you're unsure or need time to think, delaying your response can give you breathing room. Example. A colleague asks, "Can you take over this project?" Response, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." This technique buys you time to assess your priorities before committing. The conditional no. Use this when you want to help but can't do so immediately or in the way requested. Example. A friend asks, "Can you help me move this weekend?" Response, "I can't this weekend, but I'd be happy to help another time or lend you my truck." This shows you're willing to assist within your limits. The broken record no. For persistent individuals, repetition is key. Politely repeat your refusal without wavering. Example. A salesperson insists you buy their product. Response, "No, thank you. I'm not interested." Repeat as necessary. Consistency shows you're firm in your decision. The yes, but no. This technique lets you acknowledge the request while setting a boundary. Example. Someone asks, "Can you host a meeting tomorrow?" Response, "Yes, I'd love to help, but I'm swamped with deadlines right now." It balances empathy with practicality. Managing guilt while saying no. Guilt often creeps in when saying no, but it's important to remember that prioritizing yourself isn't selfish. Here are some ways to manage guilt effectively. Reframe your perspective. Saying no doesn't mean rejecting the person, it means respecting your own boundaries. Focus on the bigger picture. Remind yourself of your priorities. Every no is a step toward achieving what truly matters to you. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. It's impossible to please everyone, and that's okay. Remember your worth. You deserve to protect your time and energy. Saying no is an act of self-respect. Handling pushback gracefully. Sometimes, people won't accept your no right away. Here's how to handle common reactions. The guilt tripper. Their response: I really need your help. I don't know who else to ask. Your response: I understand this is important to you, but I genuinely can't right now. I hope you find someone who can help. The persister. Their response: are you sure? It won't take long. Your response: I appreciate your persistence, but my answer is final. Thanks for understanding. The manipulator. Their response: if you cared about me, you'd do this. Your response: I care about you, but I also have to respect my own limits. Real-life scenario: the overwhelmed parent. Maria, a busy mom, often feels obligated to volunteer for every school event. When asked to organize another fundraiser, she tries a new approach. Her response: I'm sorry, but I can't take on the fundraiser this time. I've got a lot on my plate already. I hope it goes well. The organizer initially pushes back, but Maria stands firm. To her surprise, they find someone else, and Maria feels relieved and empowered by her decision. Practical exercises to build confidence. Practice in low-stakes situations. Start saying no to small, everyday requests, like declining a store's promotional offer. Role play with a friend. Ask a friend to play the part of someone making a request. Practice your responses until you feel comfortable. Write down your reasons. Before a challenging conversation, write out why you need to say no. This will help you stay focused and confident. Key takeaway. Saying no isn't about shutting people out, it's about opening up space for what truly matters. By using practical techniques, managing guilt, and handling pushback with grace, you can set boundaries that serve both you and the people around you. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to create a sustainable boundary-setting mindset that transforms no into a regular, empowering part of your life. Building a boundary-setting mindset. Saying no effectively isn't just about words, it's about cultivating a mindset that values your time, energy, and priorities. When your boundaries are clear internally, expressing them externally becomes much easier. In this chapter, we'll explore how to shift your mindset, embrace the power of boundaries, and make saying no a habit that supports your well-being. Why boundaries matter. Boundaries are like the rules of a game. They set clear expectations and create structure. Without them, you risk overextending yourself, feeling resentful, and losing sight of your goals. Imagine your life as a garden. Without a fence, weeds, unwanted demands can invade, crowding out your flowers, your priorities. Boundaries are the fence that protects your garden, ensuring it thrives. Shifting your mindset from obligation to choice. Many people struggle to say no because they feel obligated to meet others' expectations. To break free from this pattern, you need to reframe your perspective. From, I have to do this, to, I choose to do this, or not. This shift empowers you to see every request as an opportunity to make a deliberate choice, rather than an obligation to fulfill. Core beliefs for a boundary-setting mindset. Your time is valuable. Recognize that your time is a finite resource. If you don't prioritize it, someone else will. Saying no is not selfish. Protecting your energy allows you to show up more fully for the things and people that truly matter to you. You can't please everyone. No matter how much you give, there will always be someone who wants more. Focus on pleasing yourself first. Boundaries are a sign of respect. By setting boundaries, you communicate your values and respect others by being honest about what you can and cannot do. How to create sustainable boundaries. Identify your limits. Reflect on situations where you've felt overwhelmed or taken advantage of. These experiences often highlight where boundaries are needed. Start small. Begin by setting boundaries in low-stakes situations, such as declining a minor request or expressing a small preference. Communicate clearly. When expressing a boundary, be direct but kind. Avoid over-explaining, which can dilute your message. Example, I can't take on this task right now, but thank you for thinking of me. Stay consistent. People may test your boundaries, especially if they're used to you saying yes. Consistency reinforces your limits and teaches others to respect them. Expect discomfort. It's natural to feel uncomfortable when setting boundaries, especially at first. Remind yourself that this discomfort is temporary and necessary for growth. The role of self-care in boundary setting. Taking care of yourself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When you prioritize self-care, you have more to give to others without depleting yourself. Daily practices for self-care. Set aside time for activities that recharge you, such as reading, exercising, or meditating. Practice mindfulness to stay connected to your needs and emotions. Learn to recognize signs of burnout and address them promptly. Practical strategies to reinforce your boundaries. Visualize success. Before a challenging conversation, imagine yourself setting a boundary confidently. This mental rehearsal can boost your confidence. Use affirmations. Repeat empowering statements to yourself, such as, I have the right to say no without feeling guilty. My time and energy are valuable. Create an accountability partner. Share your boundary-setting goals with a trusted friend who can offer encouragement and hold you accountable. Celebrate small wins. Every time you set a boundary, acknowledge your progress. Positive reinforcement makes it easier to continue. Real-life scenario, the people-pleasing professional. Emma is known as the go-to person in her office, often agreeing to extra tasks even when she's swamped. After learning to set boundaries, she starts small by declining a non-urgent request. Her response: "I'd love to help, but I'm already at capacity this week. Let's revisit this next month." At first, Emma feels uneasy, but she quickly realizes that her colleagues respect her decision. Over time, she becomes more confident in protecting her time. Key takeaway: a boundary-setting mindset is about shifting from reactive to proactive decision-making. By valuing your time, embracing choice, and staying consistent, you'll create a life that aligns with your priorities and leaves room for what truly matters. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to navigate relationships where saying no feels especially difficult, such as with family, close friends, and authority figures. Navigating difficult relationships. Some relationships make saying no particularly challenging. Whether it's with family, close friends, or authority figures, emotions and power dynamics can complicate boundary setting. However, it's in these relationships that saying no often becomes the most crucial. In this chapter, we'll explore strategies for asserting yourself while preserving relationships, handling guilt, and managing difficult responses. Why it's hard to say no to people we care about. Emotional ties. Love and loyalty can make us feel that refusing a request is a betrayal. Fear of conflict. You may avoid saying no to prevent arguments or hurt feelings. Power dynamics. When dealing with authority figures or people you admire, it's easy to feel obligated to comply. Cultural expectations. In some cultures, saying no to elders or close family is seen as disrespectful, adding another layer of complexity. The cost of always saying yes. When you consistently prioritize others at the expense of your own needs, you risk resentment. Feeling taken advantage of damages relationships over time. Burnout. Exhaustion leads to a decline in your ability to help anyone effectively. Loss of identity. Constantly putting others first can make you lose sight of your own goals and values. Strategies for saying no in difficult relationships. Set emotional boundaries. Before you can say no, it's important to manage your emotions and prevent guilt from taking over. Practice self-awareness. Ask yourself, am I saying yes out of fear or guilt? Affirm your right to say no. Remind yourself that setting boundaries is healthy, not selfish. Use the yes-no-yes technique. This approach softens the blow of saying no by wrapping it in positive language. Example: yes, I appreciate that you thought of me. No, unfortunately, I can't take on this task right now. Yes, but I'd be happy to help in a smaller way, like sharing a resource. Leverage empathy and understanding. Acknowledging the other person's feelings can help maintain the relationship. Example: I know this is important to you, and I wish I could help more. Right now, I need to focus on my current commitments. Set expectations early. Prevent misunderstandings by communicating your boundaries in advance. Example: I can help with this project, but I'll only be available for 2 hours on Saturday. Stay firm but respectful. Some people may push back when you say no. Staying calm and consistent reinforces your boundaries. Example: Them, you're being selfish. You, I understand this might be disappointing, but I have to prioritize my other responsibilities right now. Handling guilt, the emotional trap. Guilt is a natural response, but it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Here's how to manage it. Reframe the situation. Instead of focusing on what you're denying someone, think about what you're gaining by saying no, like peace of mind or time for a priority. Practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that it's okay to meet your own needs. Remember the bigger picture. Saying no to one thing allows you to say yes to what truly matters. Dealing with difficult reactions. Some people may react negatively when you set boundaries, especially if they're not used to hearing no from you. The overly persistent person. Response: I appreciate your persistence, but my answer is final. The guilt tripper. Response: I understand this is disappointing for you, but I need to stick to my decision. The anger-driven response. Response: I'm sorry you feel this way, but my decision is about protecting my time and energy. The manipulator. Response: I value our relationship, and I need you to respect my boundaries. Real-life scenario: saying no to a close friend. Mark's best friend, Jake, often borrows money but rarely pays it back. Mark feels obligated to say yes because of their long friendship. After some reflection, Mark decides to set a boundary. Mark's response: Jake, I care about you, but I can't lend you money anymore. I hope you understand. At first, Jake is upset, but over time, he respects Mark's honesty. Their friendship strengthens because it's based on mutual respect, not obligation. Building healthy relationship dynamics. Saying no is a way to teach others how to treat you. When you set boundaries, you create space for healthier, more balanced relationships. Key takeaway. Saying no in difficult relationships requires a balance of empathy, clarity, and consistency. Remember, the people who truly value you will respect your boundaries, even if it takes time. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to use the art of saying no to enhance your professional life, from managing workplace demands to navigating tricky office dynamics. Mastering the workplace no. The workplace is one of the most challenging environments to practice saying no. The pressure to appear competent, the dynamics of power, and the desire to be seen as a team player can lead to overcommitment. Yet, learning to set boundaries at work is crucial for maintaining productivity, avoiding burnout, and protecting your mental health. In this chapter, we'll explore how to say no to coworkers, bosses, and clients without jeopardizing relationships or career growth. Why saying no at work feels risky. Fear of professional repercussions. Saying no might feel like you're risking your reputation or promotion opportunities. Desire to be a team player. Many people feel obligated to take on more work to prove their commitment to the team. Unclear job roles. When responsibilities are vague, it can be hard to determine what's appropriate to decline. Power dynamics. Refusing a request from a superior or influential colleague can feel intimidating. The benefits of saying no at work. While saying no can feel uncomfortable, it's often the best choice for both you and your workplace. Improved productivity. You can focus on high-impact tasks that align with your role. Better work-life balance. Setting limits helps you avoid overworking and prioritize personal time. Clearer communication. Saying no sets boundaries and clarifies expectations for others. Strategies for saying no in the workplace. Prioritize and assess your workload. Before responding to a request, evaluate your current responsibilities. Ask yourself, is this task part of my core role? Will this add unnecessary stress or delay other priorities? Who else might be better suited for this? Use a professional and positive tone. How you say no is just as important as the refusal itself. Example: thank you for thinking of me for this project. Unfortunately, I'm at capacity with my current workload and won't be able to contribute fully at this time. Offer alternatives. Providing a solution shows that you're still invested in helping without taking on the task directly. Example: I can't attend the meeting, but I'd be happy to review the notes afterward. Set clear boundaries. Be transparent about your limits early to prevent misunderstandings. Example: I'm available to assist with urgent matters, but I won't be able to commit to additional long-term projects until next quarter. Master the art of deflection. When a request doesn't align with your priorities, redirect it appropriately. Example: this sounds like a great initiative. Have you considered reaching out to colleagues' name? I believe they have more capacity and relevant expertise. Responding to requests from different work relationships. Saying no to your boss. It's possible to refuse a request from a superior while maintaining professionalism. Frame it as a trade-off. I'd be happy to take this on, but it would mean delaying another project. Which would you prefer I prioritize? Highlight the impact. I'm concerned that adding this task might affect the quality of my other deliverables. Saying no to coworkers. Declining a colleague's request can be tricky, especially in collaborative environments. Example: I'd love to help, but I'm currently focused on meeting my deadlines. Let's check in after that to see if I can assist. Saying no to clients. When dealing with clients, the key is to remain polite and solution-oriented. Example: this request falls outside the original scope of the project. I'd be happy to discuss adding it as part of a separate agreement. Dealing with pushback in the workplace. The persistent requester. Response: I understand this is important to you, but I've already explained my current workload. I can revisit this at a later time if it's still needed. The guilt inducer. Response: I value contributing to the team, but overcommitting would compromise the quality of my work. I want to ensure I deliver my best. The micromanager. Response: I appreciate your input, but I need autonomy to manage my tasks effectively. Let's set clear expectations to streamline the process. Real-life scenario. Saying no to an overbearing boss. Anna's manager frequently assigns last-minute tasks that disrupt her workflow. One day, he asks her to prepare a report with a tight deadline while she's already handling a critical project. Anna's response: "I'd be happy to take this on, but I'm concerned about meeting both deadlines without compromising quality. Would it be possible to extend the timeline for one of these tasks?" Her manager appreciates the transparency and adjusts the priorities. Protecting your reputation while saying no. Focus on your strengths. Highlight the quality of your work, not just the quantity. Communicate effectively. Be clear, concise, and consistent when setting boundaries. Stay solution-oriented. Show your willingness to help within your limits. Key takeaway: saying no at work isn't about shirking responsibility. It's about managing your workload strategically and ensuring the best outcomes. By setting boundaries with professionalism and empathy, you protect your career and mental well-being. In the next chapter, we'll delve into using the art of saying no to foster a healthier and more fulfilling personal life. The power of no in personal relationships. Saying no in personal relationships can feel like navigating a minefield. You might worry about disappointing loved ones, facing rejection, or straining your bond. However, without clear boundaries, relationships can become one-sided, leading to resentment, burnout, or even emotional detachment. This chapter explores the importance of saying no to maintain healthy, respectful relationships. We'll discuss why boundaries are essential, how to handle guilt, and practical ways to protect your time and energy while preserving love and connection. Why boundaries matter in personal relationships. They define respect. When you say no, you communicate what is and isn't acceptable, fostering mutual respect. They prevent resentment. Agreeing to things that drain you emotionally or physically often leads to frustration over time. They promote emotional health. Healthy boundaries create space for self-care and personal growth, improving your overall well-being. Common fears about saying no to loved ones. Fear of disappointing them. The belief that a no equals rejection can make it difficult to refuse requests. Fear of conflict. You might avoid saying no to prevent arguments, even when it means compromising your needs. Fear of losing the relationship. Some worry that setting boundaries will make them seem less loving or less available. Overcoming guilt and shame. It's common to feel guilty when saying no to people you care about. These tips can help. Reframe your perspective. Recognize that saying no is an act of honesty and authenticity, not rejection. Acknowledge your limits. No one can do everything. Respecting your own boundaries allows you to show up fully in the ways that matter. Practice compassionate refusals. Say no with kindness and empathy. It's possible to be firm while still showing you care. Practical techniques for saying no in personal relationships. Use I statements. This shifts the focus from blame to your personal boundaries. Example: I'm feeling overwhelmed right now and need to take some time for myself. Offer alternatives. When possible, suggest another way to meet their needs. Example: I can't help you move this weekend, but I can recommend a moving service I've used before. Set clear limits. Be specific to avoid ambiguity. Example, I can come to dinner, but I'll need to leave by 8 p.m. Delay your response. Take time to consider your availability and energy before agreeing. Example, let me think about it and get back to you tomorrow. Be honest but polite. Directness builds trust and avoids misunderstandings. Example, I care about you, but I'm not in a position to help with that right now. Saying no to different people in your life. Family members. Family dynamics can make boundaries tricky, especially when there's an expectation of unconditional support. Example, I love helping you, but I can't take on more tasks this week. Let's plan for next month. Friends. Friendships thrive on mutual respect, so don't hesitate to set limits when needed. Example, I'm so happy you thought of me, but I need to pass on this one. Romantic partners. Healthy relationships are built on open communication and respect for each other's individuality. Example, I need some alone time this evening to recharge, but let's plan something special tomorrow. Children. Teaching children about boundaries helps them respect others while building their independence. Example, I can't play with you right now, but I'll set aside some time after dinner. Handling pushback in personal relationships. The persistent person. When someone won't take no for an answer, stand firm but empathetic. Response, I've already explained my situation, and I hope you can understand. I need to stick to my decision. The guilt tripper. Some may try to make you feel bad for saying no. Response, I understand this might be disappointing, but I can't compromise my boundaries. The overly dependent individual. If someone relies on you too much, encourage their independence. Response, I think this is something you can handle on your own, but I'm here if you need advice. Real life scenario, setting boundaries with a friend. Emma has a close friend, Sarah, who often calls late at night to vent about her problems. While Emma values their friendship, these late calls are disrupting her sleep and affecting her productivity at work. Emma's response. Sarah, I really care about you, but I've noticed that our late night calls are making it hard for me to focus during the day. Can we agree to chat earlier instead? Sarah initially feels hurt but appreciates Emma's honesty. Over time, their conversations become more balanced and enjoyable. The long-term benefits of saying no in relationships. Stronger bonds. Relationships based on mutual respect and understanding thrive. Personal growth. Boundaries create space for self-discovery and development. Better emotional health. You can approach relationships with more energy and positivity. Key takeaway. Saying no in personal relationships isn't about pushing people away. It's about protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being so you can nurture stronger, healthier connections. When approached with kindness and clarity, boundaries strengthen, rather than weaken, your relationships. In the next chapter, we'll look at the role of saying no in building confidence and self-respect. Saying no to build confidence and self-respect. Many of us struggle with saying no because it feels like we're putting ourselves in a vulnerable position. However, saying no is not just about refusing requests. it's an essential step in cultivating self-confidence and self-respect. By learning to assert our boundaries, we build trust in our ability to make decisions, prioritize our well-being, and uphold our values. In this chapter, we'll explore how saying no can be a powerful tool for boosting confidence and fostering a deeper sense of self-respect. We'll also discuss how to practice saying no in a way that strengthens your self-esteem. How saying no enhances confidence. Taking control of your time and energy. When you say no, you're actively choosing where to invest your time, energy, and resources. This empowers you to focus on what truly matters, instead of being overwhelmed by external demands. Example: you turn down a social invitation because you need time to rest and recharge. In doing so, you're reinforcing that your well-being is a priority. This decision helps you feel more in control of your life and less like a passive participant in your own schedule. Gaining clarity and direction. Saying no allows you to filter out distractions, making space for what aligns with your values, goals, and aspirations. This clarity boosts your confidence because you begin to make decisions from a place of self-awareness, not obligation. Example: by saying no to extra work outside your scope, you create the time needed to focus on your career growth or personal projects, knowing that you're moving toward your long-term goals rather than simply meeting immediate demands. Trusting yourself. Each time you assert a boundary and say no, you reinforce your ability to make decisions. This builds trust in yourself, which is foundational to self-confidence. Example: saying no to someone who constantly asks for favors without reciprocation teaches you that your needs matter, and you don't need external validation to feel good about your choices. Why saying no boosts self-respect. Honoring your own needs. Saying no is an act of self-respect. It acknowledges that your needs and limits are just as important as others. When you prioritize yourself, you send the message that you deserve respect and care. Example: you say no to a last-minute request from a friend because you're too exhausted. Instead of feeling guilty, you remind yourself that it's okay to care for yourself and set limits. Rejecting unhealthy relationships. Saying no allows you to distance yourself from people or situations that drain you or undermine your self-worth. By declining requests or interactions that don't align with your values, you actively protect your emotional health. Example: you turn down invitations to spend time with someone who consistently disrespects your boundaries, knowing that protecting yourself is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. Upholding your values. When you say no, you're demonstrating that you have a clear sense of your values and you're not willing to compromise them for the sake of pleasing others. Example: you refuse to participate in activities that conflict with your ethical beliefs, reinforcing that your integrity and principles matter more than fitting in or avoiding discomfort. Building confidence through assertiveness. Learning to say no assertively can transform your interactions and build your confidence. Assertiveness means expressing your needs, feelings, and boundaries clearly and directly, while also respecting others. Here's how to practice assertiveness. Use simple, direct language. Be clear and concise when expressing your boundaries. Avoid over-explaining or justifying your decision. Example: I can't help with that this time, but I hope you find the support you need. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations. Build confidence by practicing saying no in less emotionally charged scenarios. This helps you get comfortable with the process before applying it in more challenging contexts. Example: saying no to an unsolicited opinion from a coworker or politely declining a request for a small favor from a friend can help you grow accustomed to asserting yourself. Be prepared for pushback. Not everyone will respect your no right away, and that's okay. Stick to your decision while remaining calm and firm. Pushback is a natural part of boundary setting, and handling it with confidence reinforces your self-respect. Example: if someone insists after you've said no, calmly restate your position without guilt. I've already said no, and I need to honor that. Real-life scenario: boosting confidence with a firm no. Tom is frequently asked by his colleagues to take on additional tasks outside of his responsibilities. While he wants to be helpful, he's already overworked and struggles to complete his main duties. Tom's response: I appreciate you thinking of me, but I can't take on additional tasks at the moment. I need to prioritize my current workload. Tom's decision to say no is firm, clear, and based on his own priorities. Although he feels a bit guilty at first, he soon realizes that he's made the right choice. Over time, he finds that his coworkers respect his boundaries, and his ability to say no helps him maintain his focus and energy. The role of no in protecting your mental health. Preventing overwhelm. By learning to say no, you prevent overwhelm and mental burnout, both of which can chip away at your confidence. When you commit to fewer things, you can give your best to each one. Example: you politely decline an extra responsibility at work because you're already stretched thin, which allows you to focus on your key projects without feeling overloaded. Maintaining emotional balance. Saying no helps you maintain emotional balance by creating space for activities that nourish your soul and contribute to your happiness, rather than draining you emotionally. Example: you say no to attending a social event that you don't enjoy, in favor of spending time with yourself or engaging in a hobby that rejuvenates you. Key takeaway: saying no is not an act of selfishness, it's a necessary practice to maintain self-respect, build confidence, and protect your mental health. By asserting your boundaries and respecting your own needs, you demonstrate that you value yourself. This internal respect will reflect outwardly, creating stronger, more balanced relationships and enabling you to navigate life with more clarity and purpose. In the final chapter, we'll discuss how to integrate the art of saying no into your daily life and make it a habit that supports your personal growth and success. Integrating the art of saying no into daily life. Mastering the art of saying no is one of the most empowering practices you can integrate into your life. However, it's not enough to simply understand its importance. You need to incorporate it into your daily routine so that it becomes second nature. This chapter will explore practical steps for making saying no a consistent part of your life, helping you stay true to your boundaries while maintaining positive, fulfilling relationships. Making saying no a habit. Just like any other skill, saying no requires practice. The more you say it, the easier it becomes. Here's how to integrate it into your everyday life. Start small. You don't have to start with high-stakes situations. Begin by saying no in low-pressure moments, like declining a second helping at dinner or turning down an invitation to an event you're not interested in. Example: politely decline an offer for help at work if you know you can handle the task yourself, or say no to a friend who invites you out on a night you'd prefer to stay in. Starting small builds your confidence and gradually increases your comfort with saying no. Prioritize your own needs first. Before you say yes to any request, ask yourself, does this align with my current priorities? If it doesn't, it's time to say no. Prioritizing your own needs, goals, and well-being becomes easier when you make it a habit to put yourself first. Example: if you've had a long day and your partner asks you to help with something minor, take a moment to assess your energy levels and say, I really need to rest tonight. Can we tackle this tomorrow? Set boundaries early. By setting boundaries early on, you can reduce the chances of being put in situations where you need to say no. Let people know your limits from the start, so they understand your availability and willingness to help. Example: in a work setting, clearly define your hours and expectations around your role. If someone approaches you with a last-minute task, you can gently remind them of your boundaries. I'm unable to take on any additional tasks this week, but I'd be happy to help next time. Saying no in the workplace. Workplace dynamics often make it difficult to say no, especially if you feel pressure to be a team player or impress your boss. However, setting clear boundaries at work is crucial for maintaining your productivity, reducing stress, and preserving your mental health. Know your limits. Understand what you can realistically handle at work. If you already have a full schedule, be honest about your capacity. Example: if you're asked to take on a project that would stretch you too thin, you could say, I'm currently working on a few key tasks and won't be able to take on this new project right now. Offer alternatives. If you can't help with a request at work, suggest another way to handle the situation. Maybe you can delegate the task or suggest someone else who might be available. Example: I'm unable to attend the meeting, but I think colleague's name would be a great fit to lead it. I'll check in with them to provide any background information they might need. Offering solutions rather than just a flat refusal shows that you're still willing to contribute in a meaningful way. Saying no in social settings. Social pressures can often make it difficult to say no. Whether it's attending parties, social gatherings, or simply responding to constant demands from friends and acquaintances, it's essential to practice boundary setting for your own well-being. Don't over-explain yourself. You don't owe anyone an elaborate explanation for saying no. A simple, polite refusal is often enough. Example: thanks for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it this time. You don't need to justify yourself or feel guilty for not being available. Be honest and direct. People value honesty, and being straightforward helps you maintain your integrity. There's no need to be rude, but being clear about your needs helps others understand your boundaries. Example: I appreciate you thinking of me, but I need some time alone tonight to unwind. Learn to say no to peer pressure. Social gatherings often involve peer pressure, but you have the right to decline invitations that don't align with your interests or goals. Practice saying no without succumbing to guilt. Example: if a friend invites you to a bar when you'd rather stay in, simply say, "I'm choosing to have a quiet night and tonight, but let's catch up another time." Saying no in family relationships. Family dynamics can make saying no feel especially challenging, as there may be an expectation to always be available. However, establishing boundaries with family members is necessary for maintaining healthy, balanced relationships. Set clear expectations. From the outset, communicate your needs and limitations to family members so they can respect your boundaries. This is especially important if you're often asked for favors or support. Example: I'm happy to help with family events, but I need to limit my availability to weekends only. I hope that works for everyone. Avoid guilt tripping. Family members may try to make you feel guilty for saying no, but it's essential to stick to your boundaries without letting guilt sway your decision. Example: I understand you need help, but I'm unable to assist at this time. Let's find another solution. Be firm, yet compassionate. Express your refusal kindly but assertively. This can help preserve your relationship while reinforcing your need for boundaries. Example: I love you and care about your needs, but I simply don't have the capacity to take on this responsibility right now. Making saying no a positive habit. Saying no doesn't have to feel uncomfortable or confrontational. When you integrate it into your daily routine, you'll find that it becomes easier and more natural over time. Rather than viewing it as an act of rejection, start seeing it as an act of self-care and personal empowerment. With each no, you protect your time, energy, and mental health, which ultimately allows you to show up as the best version of yourself. Key takeaway: mastering the art of saying no is a powerful skill that will enhance your life in countless ways. By practicing it daily, you not only protect your personal boundaries but also cultivate a sense of self-respect, confidence, and clarity. As you grow more comfortable with saying no, you'll find that it becomes easier to make choices that align with your true desires and goals, leading to greater fulfillment and peace of mind. Saying no is not a rejection of others, it's an affirmation of your own worth and a commitment to living life on your own terms. By embracing this powerful tool, you can take control of your time, protect your emotional energy, and build stronger, more balanced relationships. Support our channel with a like and subscribe. Your support means the world to us.